Frosty the red-nosed snowman had a very shiny nose.
Hey, Merry Christmas, everybody. And, yeah, I decided to pick out a video game that is more or less for the season. This is, yeah, actually, this is Infected on the PSP. And there's a reason why you're not seeing gameplay right now. It's because I actually kind of want to go over, for a little bit, the complete pain that it is to record PSP. The PSP is probably one of the very few, if not the only, game console, like handheld game console you can actually record. Like, you know, with the Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, you can record those technically, but you got to use that for the Super Nintendo, like the Super Game Boy or the Game Boy Advance player. But the PSP is actually one of the few handheld consoles you can actually buy. Sony themselves released it, actually. They buy the AV cables, and I think there's third-party ones too, where you can buy like the AV, or I think they also have component, so you can have the display. I know it was not made for recording. It's made so you can like display it on your TV, like videos and pictures and even gameplay if you want to. But you can record, but recording for the PSP is kind of a pain in the butt. It took a little longer than I anticipated. I thought, like, I use, right now, I don't really use a capture card. I use a DVD recorder. And, yeah, that was kind of a process. The reason why I don't use capture cards is because I try to avoid using capture cards when I can, because I just have bad luck. So I just use DVD recorders, and the quality's good, and I don't have to worry about like taking that much space on my computer aside from just uploading it to my computer, and I can just kind of keep the video on standby. So yeah, that's exactly what all this is. This is me just trying to get it in. Like when I first did, I didn't have any sound, and I think I just forgot to put in the sound RCA cord or something. I can't exactly remember exactly what the issue was, but I think that's what it was. Yeah, there's me just screwing around. Playing, just trying to get it, just making sure the sound was all good and everything. So yeah, it feels kind of weird, like popping out the PSP after so long. But I liked it. I like it, so I didn't really complain. But yeah, this is Infected on the PSP. So this is I do actually have some Christmas specific video games, but I decided to go with this, even though it's like barely a Christmas game. Like it's like Christmas is mostly just a backdrop than it is anything else. Yeah, by the way, if you ever do record PSP, remember, just understand you gotta do a lot of pan and zoom. That's what I had to do for all this. I had to pan and zoom all this stuff just so I can actually like give you a full screen and not, you know, otherwise this video would be very small. I did the best I could to like not cut anything out, but yeah, this is a Christmas game in a very loose definition of the word.
And with that, fellow citizens and friends of New York, let me say that this is going to be a great Christmas. Take it away.
Sure.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Worst shopping season ever? Find out at 11.
yeah, I cut a lot of this stuff out, but yeah, yeah, I was just messing around here, just taking a look at the game. So, because I haven't played this game in years. When I came to the PSP, I didn't get the PSP when it was new. I got this. I got this like I got it like not at the very end, but like towards the end of the PSP's life cycle. Like there were still games being made, but it was still very late in the PSP's life cycle. And one of the games my brother and I always wanted to play was, well, Infected. Like my brother and I, we are and still are, you know, big zombie fans, you know, big zombie horror movie fans, and we so this is like a game we always wanted to check out, and I was like kind of the only one who kind of remembered it. My brother has the ability to move on from games. I don't. I want to keep like the games I wanted to play as a kid. I still want to play as an adult. So yeah, so I just gotta pick and choose some random stuff. I didn't actually go through the whole story because I beat this game a long time ago. I just didn't see the point, and yeah, you're gonna see me try to remember some things about the controls in this game. Basically, in this game, I actually do the way I remembered it was actually pretty much how I remember. So basically, there's like a bunch of monsters. They have to be weakened to a certain point, and then you have to shoot them with your blood. Like that's when they turn red. That's when you can shoot them with your blood. Yeah, basically your blood's like the only thing that hurts them, or something like that. It's like the only thing that actually doesn't affect them, or it's weird. Like this is really more just. This is basically a smartphone game. Like I don't have a smartphone. I got rid of mine because I thought it was stupid. I was completely unimpressed with the smartphone craze. But the couple games I did get. Kind of, this is like what they remind me of. This is like the concept of like a smartphone game now, and because all it is just run and gun and like mercilessly. There is a. I don't remember there actually being necessarily a plot, per se. I don't know, like I can't I just have a hard time saying there was a plot. Like I think what you saw at the beginning was, and I don't recall there being other cutscenes. There might be. It's been so, like I said, this was like one of the first PSP games I got. It wasn't the very first, but it was like definitely one of the earlier ones because I happened to come across it. Like this game's not. Even when I got it, I think the game was like $5. It wasn't very much. And like I said, this is literally just a hack. This just shows you what kind of a different time it was when the PSP was around. Because yeah, you could make a game like this. This was like one of the. I think this was like one of the like one of the like major. I don't want to say major hits because I don't think it was re-released or anything. But I know it was like I think it won like E3 or something like that. It was like nominated or won like one of the best games at E3 or something like that. But in the end, it really is just kind of like a random just run and gun. Like it's very weak as being a Christmas-related video. I admit that it's a very weak related Christmas game. Like it's basically like Yakuza, where it's like Christmas in almost every game, but in the end, it really has absolutely nothing to do with anything. Like I think the only game in Yakuza I actually did Christmas with was the first one. But in the end, it's a. The point I'm getting at is that like it's a backdrop. Like it's not even. It has like no real bearing on anything. I had to remind myself how this game is. Like it's one of those things when you kind of look at it, you kind of realize what you did wrong or whatever. But if you don't really get it, you see basically all the game is using. In this mission, I'm collecting survivors, but you see, basically, depending on the kills, will upgrade your weapon. Like there's certain levels. Like you start with the handgun, then eventually it goes to the shotgun, then it goes to the machine gun, then it goes to a rocket launcher, and then it goes into another rocket launcher. Yeah, it's called the BMFG. Very original. If you, I'm pretty sure you know what they're going for with that. Yeah, I don't actually recall there being much of a plot. I think this really is like you just pop it in, you just run and gun and waste time, like a time killer. Like I said, there's nothing to this. But yeah, that's how it is. And after they have that like red aura around them, that's how you know you can use your blood on them. And there's other ways, like your blood naturally comes back. But yeah, I was trying to figure out where to go. I couldn't remember. Like I was still trying to remember what the thing is. Like I was looking at this. I think this is where I noticed the map. And yeah, it was starting to come to me very lately. In case you're wondering, because I feel like I need to say this, I don't recall there being a way to change the camera, like other than what you like the way you're facing. I don't recall there being another way to any other way to pull that off. I don't recall that being a way around that. Yeah, I do remember the weapon upgrades, and I think I had all the upgrades when I was playing this. The reason why I didn't just like restart the game, because usually I would just do that, is I just couldn't justify the. I don't know, because I just knew I would never play the whole game again. Like, this is not. There would never be a conclusions to this. I would just be wasting my time on it, so I decided to just. Yeah, just kind of go around just playing randomly. Because that's all this game is. It just go around this is where the camera gets really bad. This is what I was talking about. Like, I don't think there is a way to really control the camera unless you can do it with the D-pad, and I didn't notice it. But as far as like the little PSP node and the other buttons, to my knowledge, there is no way around that. Yeah, apparently these zombies are so like powerful, like even a rocket launcher is too much for them. I don't know. Yeah, there is a time limit. I know, like in order to get like certain awards, or like if it matters that much to you, you got to you have to find. You have to like do it in a certain amount of time. It's basically a time-based run thing. Yeah, that's where you see about that. So I don't know. To me, this game is just what you see now. It doesn't really like. This is like something that they could probably release like on smartphones, but I don't see it being much more than anything else. Like this is hardly a time waster on PlayStation Network now. That's I think that's the reason why I don't like care for like smartphone games, is because there's like they literally hold zero like value after a while. After a while, they just literally don't mean anything. Just who cares after a while. Yeah, and the objectives never really change. Like what you're seeing here is pretty much like the closest you get to like any real variation. Like, yeah, I'm supposed to protect all the cops or whatever. I don't even know. And yeah, it's just kind of a whatever game. Yeah, like what you're seeing, like there's not like, I swear I'm not trying to like chintz out of this. I'm not like, it's just there's not really, as far as like controls and stuff like that. I talked about the camera. The camera does suck, but it's not anything you can't forgive, I guess, because it's like at least I could forgive it because it's just what I expected. You can't really control anything. What you're seeing here, like you're with this limited directions, and it's really just with these stairs, because otherwise it's fine. Because the way the game plays and how fast it runs, you don't really need the whole, like necessarily a moving camera. It would be nice, but it was not really. I can easily play this game without having to worry about that. And but if anything like open world and a functioning camera like that. And not to mention, you're always moving. I think that's how you like move the camera a little bit. Like you actually kind of sort of have to be moving all the same. I think this is like the only time I ever died in this, because it's not like it matters anyway. You have extra lives, yeah. Yeah, now I'm invincible for a little while. Yeah, classic video game logic. You gotta love it. But yeah, it's not really a Christmas video game, is it? Like I do, it's funny, like I said, I do have Christmas-related games. I actually did play one, but I decided not to go with that because I already did. Because I kind of felt like it was just it was kind of a cop out, so I decided to go with this. But like I said, if you try to show this to like a modern day gamer, like this would probably be something like hard for them to be like, why isn't this just like on a cell phone or something? Because since handheld games are kind of a sadly are becoming a lost cause, or a not necessarily a lost cause, but just kind of a lost art, a lost medium, I should say, the better way to put it. It's yeah, there's the chainsaw. I just go. I don't really remember that being a weapon. I'm not surprised. I guess like it's kind of a thing. If you do any zombie game, you have to have some. You have to have the chainsaw on one variation of it. I guess. I don't know. I've never really thought about it. Yeah, I don't know what that viral overload means. I think that means when the zombies like kind of like take over an entire place or something. I really have no clue. Or everyone, or like all the innocent people, if they're around, they're infected now. I honestly don't know. I have no clue. I'm not gonna pretend to know. But yeah, this is infected. It doesn't really surprise me, like in the end, like even though like won an award for just kind of being a fun time waster, that's kind of the problem with time waster games. Like that's all they can be. Even if they do get like any kind of real popularity, like Angry Birds or something, in the end it's still just a time waster, and it's just going to be something people are going to forget after a while. And this had its own thing, especially since it was only on the PSP. So I'm not saying that it would have stood out a little longer if it was on DS, but I think where it's at is kind of as good as it was ever going to get. Because yeah, every single mission is exactly the same. Just go around and kill every single zombie you can. That's pretty much. I remember that I do remember that voiceover. That's what everybody says. Just like that's the other. But yeah, there's. What you see, like what you saw at the beginning is pretty much, and like the environment is pretty much the only Christmas-related things you see. Like there's Santas, like there's like drunken Santas, and they're like harder to kill than other zombies. But yeah, like I said, this is like Christmas and like a Christmas video game in the loosest attempt. I might as well have been playing Yakuza. Heck, at least in the Yakuza games, they actually, like at least in Yakuza 5 anyway, they actually do mention. There actually is there's actually a side mission where you can buy Christmas presents, so. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is where I was trying to figure out I was trying to check out, actually look at the controls here. Yeah, I think this is when I was trying to figure out like the map and all this other stuff, which I didn't really know how to do at the time. Or couldn't remember. Like I said, I think that, like, this is the first time I picked up this game in, my God, I almost want to say 10 years. Like, I want to say it's been that long. It's because it's been decades since I've even played this. Yeah, this is where I finally figured out you could make the map bigger. Yeah, so oh, I guess I didn't get all the upgrades for one of the weapons. Is that the hand? Or unless that's, I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend to know exactly how this game goes. But yeah, there's but yeah, that was Infected. Not really the most Christmassy game, but it's definitely one of the more fun games that are aimed around Christmas. I gotta say, this is probably the one thing Halloween will always be able to beat Christmas in, is that there's always going to be video games that are going to be centered around Halloween a lot better than Christmas. Either way, though, I love both holidays, but Merry Christmas to y'all. Hope you all have a good year, and see you in 2019, I suppose.
Frosty the Red-Nosed Snowman had a very shiny nose, and if you ever had a tomato there or something, but he ain't never seen it, 'cause they got 2 eyes made out of coal. Those children know, and everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. They used to laugh and call him names, and never play no reindeer games. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Rudolph came to say,
like a light bulb.
Frosty with your nose so bright, won't